Alright everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and take a look at basically all the iPhones that I own. I'm going to not make this video 45 minutes long, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all the iPhones and we'll pretty much just place it back down on this desk like this. Now this is the iPhone 10, a very good iPhone, I love it a lot, and this is a majority of them. I think this is probably all of them to be honest. The iPhone 12 Pro that I basically use on as a main device, I loved it a lot and it's a great device as well. I have an iPhone SE 2 or iPhone SE 3, I actually don't even know. This is the iPhone SE 3. Very weird iPhone, don't really like it that much to be honest. Next up we have the iPhone 10, which is a really good iPhone. I love this iPhone at 10 too. And honestly, I think it's still a pretty good deal. I've like 3 of those iPhone 10s. We have an iPhone 11, which is day one. I got it, day one. It still holds up very well, and it's really in pretty decent condition for being like 3 years old. We also have an iPhone 8 that I like a lot too. And the thing about iPhone 8s, they're good iPhones, but they're the lowest one supported now, and I'm not really too big of a fan of that, to be honest. Now we have an iPhone 8 Plus. This one is completely cracked up, and I wish I probably did a better job when I, kept it, but it still works. It still powers on, as you guys can tell, and I think it's still a pretty good iPhone too. Now we have an iPhone 10R, basically one of my favorite iPhones of all time, and like I mentioned before, this phone still holds up very, very well too. Honestly, I think it's still a pretty decent iPhone to pick up. Now I'm kind of combining these two, the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13s. These are great iPhones as well. The iPhone 12 is a little bit more different, but the 13 I think was a great iPhone, and obviously these are still very much worth it as well. Now next up I have the iPhone XS, iPhone 7, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone 10 or iPhone 11. Very good iPhones too. I think most of you probably seen these videos. I just bought this one actually, and it really wasn't even that expensive. I think it was probably less than, I think it was around $150 or something. A very good iPhone, I had a cracked back though. We have the iPhone 6s Plus as well, a very good iPhone that I had a great time with when I used it personally. The iPhone 5C I actually just made a video about, and it's also a, interesting iPhone. And the iPhone 11 Pro, one of my most favorite iPhones of all time. I love this iPhone a ton, and I think it's probably one of the more perfect iPhones Apple's made, at least in recent times. Now I have the other iPhone SE 2, good iPhone for the most part, but not like the favorite budget phone of all time. Another iPhone 7 Plus, which I think is cool. iPhone 6s, a legendary device that I love a ton. And an iPhone XS Max, which I think is a really good iPhone too still. It does have a little bit of a different battery size compared to other iPhones, but I think it's still a pretty good one for the most part. I have another iPhone 7 Plus. I don't know why I have so many 7 Pluses, it's kind of random. And I have an iPhone 8 that I talk about a lot heavily. This is the one on iOS 16, which I think is still a work in progress. Now I have another iPhone 10R. This one is cracked, and I think it holds up fairly well for the most part. It's definitely not that big of a deal. The iPhone 6 Plus that I did use for a little bit of time too, that was really cool. And I have an iPhone 7 as well, which I think holds up really well. I think I just dropped one. But the iPhone 7 I think was a good phone. Still, it's just sad that it didn't get support with software. Now I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max that I forgot I even had, which is very interesting. This one does have a cracked back, but it's fully functional for the most part everywhere else. I have an iPhone SE. This is a legendary device, and I love this iPhone so much. I also have an iPhone 7, another one. This one is basically for just iOS 15 coverage, basically. Another iPhone 7. I don't know if this one works or not. I kind of forgot. A very cracked iPhone 12 mini. This one has a very cracked back. I do need to put a skin on it, but it is functional every other area, which is nice. I have an iPhone 4 or 4S. I honestly kind of forgot which one this one was, but this one is still in good condition for the most part, which is really cool. Another iPhone 8 Plus, this one is cracked. I think this one is on iOS 15 if I'm not mistaken. An iPhone 5, that is still a very legendary phone. I love this iPhone a lot too, and it's right up there. iPhone 6 as well. It's very sad because this iPhone, I don't think it's getting any more iOS 12 updates, but it's still a legendary phone as well. An iPhone 5S, this is a legendary phone too, just one of the best looking phones of all time that Apple made, and I still think it looks very beautiful. Another iPhone 6 as well. Kind of funny that I have so many iPhone 6s. Another iPhone SE, which is a very good iPhone. This is the first generation one right there. Another iPhone SE as well, which is very funny. So I have several different iPhone SEs. Another iPhone 6s as well. I think this one is on iOS 16 as well. I kind of forgot. I also have my iPhone 13 Pro that I use on an everyday basis. This is basically my main device. I love it a lot. And I also have this other drawer of iPhones here too, but they're basically either fake iPhones or they're not fully functional. So I didn't really want to take each individual one out, but that's kind of what we're rocking with. Some notable ones probably are this iPhone 6s Plus that has a black front on it, which is very, very interesting with a white Touch ID. A blue iPhone 5C. I haven't really seen too many of these ones out in public or even like online, which is very weird. The original iPhone, which is weird because every time I make a video about this, nobody watches it. So it's very strange. I personally like making videos about it, but nobody else cares about it. Another iPhone 7. I think this one worked at one point, but it no longer works anymore. Same thing with this iPhone 10. This iPhone 10 was fully functional not too long ago, and now it's not fully functional, which is very sad because physically it's in pretty good condition. I think it still turns on, but I don't know, it just kind of stopped working. We have this extremely fake iPhone 11 Pro Max that came out a while ago. This was a fake one, this is not the real one, as you can tell. And then I bought some fake models of, I think, the iPhone 12 Pro Max or something like that with the flat sides. I have a hollowed out case of the iPhone 5, which has nothing inside of it. Actually, I have two of them. Here's another one, so there's two different ones of just this steel body. And we have another iPhone 4, and then we have another iPhone 3G or 3GS, this one right here. And that kind of covers up all the different iPhones that I have for the most part. All the ones that I use on an everyday basis, like the iPhone 13 Pro. I use the iPhone 13 that fell a lot as well. I use pretty much all these iPhones that come out. But I would say probably the best iPhone I've used so far is the iPhone 13 Pro. This is the best one. The most impactful is probably the iPhone 6s that I've talked about a lot too. And that kind of covers it up. Now I have to go and put these back all in the drawer, which is very annoying. But hopefully you guys have an idea. And like I said, I think these are all of them. There may be like few other ones that may be broken that I kind of forgot about, but these are the ones that are fully functional for the most part. I use on an everyday basis, even like that Crack 12 mini back there. If you want to see my Androids, I'll go and make a video about that too. It's been, yeah, I think it's been like 2 years since I even made a video about this, and it's crazy to see how many more phones there are, but it's also kind of crazy about how many phones are going to be releasing in the next few years, and it's probably going to be insane about the collection that we're going to have in the future. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.